So, is it visible, Namrata?
It is visible. We are having 30-second timer, which will give us a timing to start the session, and your screen will be live on YouTube. Yes. Welcome, Ankit. And this is our
Okay.
developer communities
So,
Tumkur chapters event for progressive web apps. So we have with us Ankit. Over to you. You can take it up.
okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Namrata. So, hello everyone. Today we are going to have a look at what is PWA and that is progressive web app and how what are the opportunities for us in this new application development. Okay, so let's start. This is about me. Myself, Ankit Kumar Singh, and I'm a software developer at Josh Software. Apart from that, I do technical writing, blogging, speak open source contribution, and I'm a keen learner. So I love to learn new stuff, and I'm always curious about what's happening in tech world. So today's motivation. So I have kept this slide intentionally because whenever you start something, you must need a motivation that I want to get start with something and why should I learn something. So no matter whether you want to learn web development, Android, iOS, or anything, you will not become so good in just one day. So I believe that you don't have to be good to start. You just have to start to be good. So when you will start, you will day by day you will automatically become good at whatever you are learning or whatever you want to build. Then the goal of this session is to understand and have a clear idea about PWA and what are the opportunities we have. So these are the few things which we are going to discuss, and let's move towards it. Back to school. So back to school is just a basics. So no matter whether if you want to be in a web development, you will need these skills, and for PWA as well. So HTML, CSS, and JS. These are the three technologies you must have to learn, and you must have at least good understanding of these technologies to get start with PWA. This is the basic requirement of PWA. Now the tools. So as usual, to build a PWA or to get started with a web development, all you will need is just a code editor, and for that you can use anything from Sublime, VS Code, Notepad, or anything. My personal favorite is VS Code because it provide a lot of good extension which enables my which helps me in my productivity and uh, it, it just boosts my complete development skills. Apart from that, you will just need any browser. So I hope you know what browser is. You can start with Chrome, Brave, Firefox, or even Microsoft Edge. So all these browsers, any one is enough to get started with it. Now the tools. So, if I'm a beginner and I want to get started with the web development, first I need to understand the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? After that, when I become a little bit good at it, let you will need some advanced understanding of some advanced frameworks like Bootstrap, Angular, React, or Vue. So till now, we are just understanding the basic requirement of PWA, and uh, these are the tools or these are the technologies which you will need to understand or have a good idea in it, so that you will be able to build a PWA. Let's move towards next. So Apple launched new iPhone in 2007, and that changed a complete way of interacting web applications. It make us very easy to browse. It make us very easy to get hands on web development and browse, and that help us to browse internet. So when so this is the question for all of us, like what was so special in um, iPhone. So first iPhone when launched in 2007, it consists a lot of new technologies and a lot of new ways to make a better experience to the user. That time it introduced Web 2.0 and Ajax, and that was integrated inside iPhone is in a browser, and that makes a lot of changes to the user's life. So these are the words by Steve Jobs. So you have got everything you need if you know how to write apps using the most modern web standards to writing amazing apps for the iPhone today. And that was in 2007. So in 2007, when Steve Jobs launched these new iPhones, he has this vision, the vision to introduce web applications in iPhone. And things went wrong. After 2007, Android comes in a market, and instead of people using web applications, a lot of businesses, developers, and users they switch to iOS, Android, and remaining those who were a desktop users, they move to Microsoft Windows. For a decade, from 2007 to around 2016, things were there were so much dominance of Android and iOS on mobile phone market. Whereas for web apps, instead of accepting new technologies, web apps started giving user experience by providing responsive web application development processes. And in the same era, we saw Bootstrap, React, AngularJS, Vue. These technologies started introducing. So these technologies help web developers to build better web apps, but they were not enough to build and give a native app like feeling. And that was the reason people used to prefer native apps compared to web apps. And after some time we had hybrid apps. So hybrid apps were used to develop using PhoneGap, Ionic, native script, these technologies, or to hack the process development process. Developers used to give web view of application inside a native app, and they used to give the native app feeling to the user. So that was almost a development era in which Android and iOS were making a lot of changes to the ecosystem. They were bringing new technologies so that to make user experience better. Then in 2016, Google I/O and Google saw a lot of developers are giving native to make a native like feeling. They used to give a responsive web app, used to develop use responsive web apps, and but still there were a lot of lack. So to solve this huge problem and to complete the vision of Steve Jobs, Google introduced PWA in 2016's Google I/O, where Eric, who was a lead developer in Google, so he introduced our first first way to create a PWA progressive web apps for Google I/O 2016, and that was the first time when things started or people started looking at PWA. So while building this PWA, or as PW, we are talking about PWA, that is progressive web apps. Meanwhile, my friend, who is an Android developer, who sent me this meme, that is, yes, sab dogla pen hai. Why? Because now web developers are able to create a universal web applications using this new technology, and that gives and empowers web developers to create a native applications. So now let's move towards the next part of this session, and that is progressive web app. So in this part, we'll see what exactly it is, whether it's a new technology, new language, or what exactly it is. In this session, we'll also see why we should consider it, who are the people who are using this PWA tool, and what are the hardware support we'll get if we started building our own progressive web apps. So guys, before we start, I just want to ask some questions. So how many of you, yeah, so if anyone have any questions, they can ask right now. Like in basics, whatever we talk about basics and why and when it started, so in that if anyone have any questions, they can ask and we'll discuss that here. Okay, so lovely thing. uh, how is PWA different from website working as a mobile version? What libraries make the site function same? Oh, that's great. So this is a great question. First of all, so in this question, now, so in this section of our webinar, we are going to have a look at why, how, and all. I'm going to answer all these questions which you have lovely, and we'll make sure that at the end of the session you will have a complete idea, as well as you will be able to build your own progressive web apps from now. Okay, so let's move towards next session. Should I move, guys? Just comment yes or no. Yes. Guys, all of your questions are valid, and we'll talk in our next section. But before that, I just want to make sure that we all are in the same page. So just comment yes if you understand till now. Okay, so let's move towards next section of our talk. So what is PWA? Is it technology? What exactly it is? So progressive web application. It's not a framework. It's not not a programming language or nothing. It is just the way we build our application. So when I say build, this means what? So hello, Namrata, I'm getting some echo. Hello, guys, are you able to hear me? Please let me know.
Hello, Ankit. So you can
Yeah,
continue with the session. We will take the
yeah,
Q&A at the end of the session for 15 minutes. So
yeah,
you don't need
sure.
to answer them. I will give you questions one by one at the last 15 minutes. You can complete your presentation.
Yeah, sure. So just mute yourself because I'm getting some echo. Yeah, guys. So PWA or Progressive Web App is it's just a add-on to our existing application. Like if the way we used to develop our normal web applications, we just have to develop the same, but we for these new features we need to make some tweaks or to add some changes. But before that, so what is progressive web apps? So progressive, which means it is or it should work in any device, and it has like PWA has some extra features. So when I say it works on any device, which means it must be universal. So if I'm developing a web application which is available through Google Chrome or any browser, its browsers are independent, right? They are not a platform dependent. So in a similar way, PWA or your progressive web apps are progressive or universal in nature, and they can be installed in any platform, no matter whether it's Windows, Linux, Android, iOS, or anything. After that, performant. So performant means it is faster. It's faster than native application. So to get start with a native application, you'll need to wait. You need to get install the application and all, and it was tedious job. I don't want to do that. I just want to click and one instantly and get the application on my system. So PWA must PWAs are faster. After that, responsive, as we all are web developers, so we know responsive means it is device independent, and on any device, no matter whether it's mobile, desktop, laptop, or iPad, it get in responsive behavior in works similarly. PWS are app-like. They are they look and give a feeling of application, native application. You can install it by just one click. It works offline. Yes, guys, that's something new here. PWS works offline as well. It increases the engagement of your web application, and it's really easy to discover PWA compared to any native application. So when I said these all things progressive, linkable, installable, and discoverable, so these are the few things which makes your net web application different and makes it PWA. Progressive, as we discussed, progressive web app must work in any device, and it just enhance the overall performance and features of a web application. Discoverables means your PWA are discoverable to any device, as well as it's easy to find out on web application, on Google or anywhere. Installable means you can install this PWS directly to your Android devices, and you will know you don't need any extra thing to do. Now, we have seen this responsive app like and re-engagement. These are the features, or uh, these are the way these are the features of a PWA. Okay, but Ankit, you will ask, who is using this PWA? And so, from Pinterest, Twitter, Leaf to Indian companies like Ola, Flipkart, GoIbibo, Redbus, all these companies and a lot of companies like this are using PWA to build and give a native like experience to their users. Now, why? Why we should care about the PWA, and why it's important? Why we should not consider native application? So the these are the numbers, like numbers. So when it comes to businesses want to know the number of Android devices, the number of iOS devices or mobile devices, so that they can build their native application or keep application on only on a browser. So day by day, by each passing day, the number of mobile users are increasing very fast, and the market share of native and Android and iOS users are almost become similar. Android, the number of Android users are increasing very high, and right now I think almost around 3 billion devices are using Android, and around say 1.5, yeah, or 1 billion billion active Android iOS and Mac users are there. Okay, but why? Again, the question remains same. Why we should you consider this PWS over a native application? So on average, when you use a native application, you lose 20% users. So why? First, to find your application, or if to find a native application, a user needs to go to App Store or Play Store. App Store for Apple users and Play Store for Android users. Now they will go to that store, they will download it. Again, downloading time increase as per the size of application. If it's a 200 or 300 MB application, it's going to take a couple of minutes for me to download. Then the application will install, and then I'll start using that application. So all these steps, we are losing 20% of our customer. And when it comes to business, that's very huge number. So businesses want to reduce that number, and they want to give something better to user. So these are the reasons why one should learn, or one should consider PWA for their businesses, and why developers should also learn or build PWA applications. First one is reliable. PWAs are fast and it's work offline. So you can ensure that your application is going to have a good, smooth experience to your user. Fast. Fast again comes with, like, you can add good animation, scrolling becomes seamless, and navigation from one menu to another becomes very fast compared to fast. Engagement. When a user launches a particular application, it must how to solve a particular problem for that user, or it should add some values. Like if I open a YouTube, in couple of clicks I'm able to watch a particular video, and that makes me use that application more frequently. But nowadays, a number of applications in Android or Play Store, Android devices, Play Store and App Store has increased you like very high. And in that case, we are not sure that someone is going to use my application multiple times or more frequently because of lengthy installation process, and that the space one application occupies in our device again. And if you are like solopreneur and you have developed a particular app, it's going to be a really hard for me to find on Play Store unless and until I know exact same name of your application. So your like these are the problems. Your application is not discoverable. So we will need PW. Your application, if you want a secure and cheap development, so you should consider PWA. Again, so here I'll divide this thing in three different ways. So first one is for consumer. So what are the benefit of consumer here? Consumer is getting a low budget application that is in which is in few kbs, and after that user is getting or consumer is getting it very fast in his or her device. It's secure, so is going to trust, and it is engageable, so engagement of a consumer is going to increase. So these are the reasons why consumer focus or installs PWA. Now, second, for businesses. So developing a native application is always a costly decision for businesses. To develop a device-oriented native application, you will need again think and understand your user. If your user is on iOS, you will need to develop a particular iOS app. If your user is on Android, you will need to develop a separate Android application. Then if some users want a web application, then you will again need a web application as well. So in this way, businesses are spending too much money on application development, and it's also going to increase the overall time for businesses, like uh, to develop a particular application for their business. But with PWA, businesses are going to reduce this development time approximately 50%, and the cost of development by 60%. Why I'm saying 60%? Because now you just have to build one web applications, and you don't have to build your Android or iOS application anymore, or even a desktop application. For developers, what's new here? So developers, like as PWS are built using web development technologies, developers are no need to learn something new. They just have to understand how this PWA works, and within a couple of hours they will start building this PWA. Second thing, developers have to less work on maintenance code or code maintenance, because now they just have to focus on Android, like web application instead of Android and iOS, and they can save a lot of time for themselves as well. So these are the some reasons why PWA are used. So now there is an example of Twitter. So this is the best example of Twitter, when Twitter built their first PWA, and around a million of users switched from their native application to PWA. They saw 75% increase in tweets when a user installs their PWA app in his phone or her phone, and the page sessions are also increased. So now people are using more Twitter, and the engagement time is completely different, and experience, they are getting better experience, so they are using the application more and more. Now I have another this example. So these are the like live examples, and you can also check if you are using Android device for now. So these are the three different applications which I have installed. So if you can see, I have a native like feeling, that is app icon for Ghana, Light, Tinder, Bookmap, Meesho, as well as Flipkart. Yes, guys, your favorite shopping site, Flipkart, also have also built their PWA, and you can install it in just a single click. You don't have to do anything. Another best feature is that whenever you build any PWA application, you will get a by default pop-up icon from in Google Chrome. So this shows as like add to home screen button. When you will click on that, it will give a pop-up like cancel and install. So it is going to install on your device, and it's going to give a native feeling. Now the question is, which browsers or progressive web apps are going to work using browsers, right? So Chrome, Samsung, Opera, and yes, Firefox. So all these browsers support PWA in Android, and Chrome supports in all devices, including uh, iOS, Microsoft Windows, Linux, and Android as well. With all this, all the browsers which are based on Chromium, that is Brave, Microsoft Edge, or any other browsers which are based on Chromium, they support PWA, and they give a really good experience to the user. But now you'll ask, so what, which features I can access using PWA, or why should I in if I'm yes, as a web developer, you will have this question like which kind of hardware support I'll get in PWA. Because if you build any native application, you are going to have a good support for camera, location, operating system, SMS, and all. So these are the some features which you can directly use, and now supported by PWA application as well. So yes, you can access camera, microphone, you can record, you can create real-time applications which are going to help us to communicate user, like peer-to-peer communication or chat applications. After that, you can access a network and network speed using your PW application. Whether you are online or offline, you can check that as well. You can access vibration sensors. You can access battery status. You can also get access to device memory. So what exactly current device memory is, on the basis of that, you can give some extra features to your user. Apart from that, PWA's work can have access to offline storage, file access, and now in Android devices, specifically in Chrome, you can also access contacts. So you just have to enable this contacts access, and you will easily get a pop-up where your your contacts stored in your main device. You can access that as well. And apart from that, you can access location, screen sharing, whether and input devices like gesture, speech recognition, clipboard, pointing device adaptation, all you can access. Again, these are not enough. You can access some more hardware devices, and some it also have some more features like Bluetooth. Yes, now you can access or create web applications which can access, or PW applications which can access Bluetooth of your mobile. It can access USB ports, serial ports as well. Apart from this, to give a better experience, you can also enable background sync, payments, credential storage, etc. So these are the some features, native application features which you can enable in your PWA. Okay, but is it true? Like, this is the question you all have. How is even possible? So to enable that, we have some things which need, and that is PW to build or to solve your PW progressive web application to your user. You will need a HTTPS support. Yes, you'll need to enable SSL on your on your URL, or you will need to get from your SSL certificate from your hosting provider, and that's it. This is the first requirement. Then the next is, okay, so again, if you anyone wants to discuss HTTP secure versus HTTPS, so in HTTPS all the data and communication is encrypted, and hence that's the reason why PWS are more secure than your native application. Now let's talk about technology or how the application works. So whenever you launch any application, or how the application is going to work or look in a uh, anyone's device, that depends on your app manifest. So app manifest is a file you will need to add external, add in our HTML file. App manifest contains the name, short name, description, start URL, display, like whether you want to display it as a standalone or a full screen application. Then some theme colors, icons, and everything. So if like you are a Android or a iOS developer, you know about your app manifest file, right? So it's similar to that, but exactly it's not similar. It has some different properties which we'll need to manage. And after that, so this is the another requirement, like you will need to add app manifest in your web application. Now now your application should work offline as well, right? So for that you will need service worker. So what is service? I know you will have this question in your mind, like if I want to get a support of offline, you'll need some technology, right? So for that we have service workers. So service workers are nothing but JS file or JS functions which create a and work like a VPN. So where when I said VPN, so what exactly it does? Whenever our application need to make any call to the network, like to server, all that goes to through service worker. If application is online, it directly goes to network and gets the data. If application is offline, it check whether the resources are available locally or not. If it's locally available, it directly gives access to that resources, which means data, and your application is working completely fine, even if there is no internet. So how the service workers work? So service workers installing, then if then it's get activated. If it's activated, then it started facing on like doing its job to maintain being ideal. It works background, yes. And if there is any error, you will not see an install now button on your browser. But now your question is, who will help me? So yes, guys, as we all know, our best friend, that is Google. Google is going to give all the resources and everything to us. But I know you want something from me as well. So for that, I'll share the list of resources as well. Okay, so this is the first URL which you will need. So that is PWA Builder. You just have to open this PWA Builder. So this application is built by Microsoft community itself. Yes. Here you just have to enter the URL of your existing application and click on start. When you will click on start, it will fetch all the details, whether you have app manifest or not, whether you have service workers or not. It will check everything, and once and give, it's going to give some it will give a percentage of percentage, like 50% or 40% your application is PWA. On after that you will just need, and it will also give you the support or codes and everything, which will help you to get to convert your normal application into PWA. So now all of you are here. So I have built this application to give you a demo. So those who are listening, you just have to open this application in your Chrome browser, whether even if you are using like desktop, Android, iOS, or anything. Just open this COVID data, COVID dot web dot app in your Chrome application, and you will get a install now button. And install now button will also, like there I have also mentioned that why you should install this application on your phone. So when you will install this application on your phone, you will get a good launcher, then a splash screen will come. After that, the PW applications work completely independently. So you will like once you install this application, you will know not required to open Chrome, even a Chrome. It will independently open, and you will able to do anything and everything whatever you do in a native application. So guys, just let me know like whether you have installed or you are getting install button or not. Yes. And now I'm done. So those who want to connect with me, just search for the Dave Ankit, and I'm available on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Medium as well. So now I'm done from my side and ready to pick all your queries and questions. Yes, Namrata, we can take questions now. Okay, so first question from Lovely. Lovely, as you have asked about how PW is different from websites and working as a mobile version. Yes, so PW, as I have shared in my previous slides, PW is completely different from your. It's not completely different. It's just an add-on. It adds some new extra features to your existing web application and gives an best feeling to your user. To build, you can build PWA using in Vue, after that in Angular, React as well. So we can use the existing knowledge. You don't have to do anything extra. You just need to add service worker, uh, web manifest, and you will need to start your web application over HTTPS. So these are the just three requirements, and after that your application will start giving install now button on devices. So Omkar has asked, can we convert website that is already built? Yes, you can convert, as I have shown you. PWA Builder, you just have to enter the URL of your application and click on next. After that, you will get a complete description about your application and which things you will need to add to convert your existing application into PWA. Now, Anuraz, yes, yeah. So, Namrata, can you please ask next question? Hello, you are on mute, Namrata.
Yes, Ankit, what happened? Okay.
Hello, Ankit. Yes, we have a confirmation from Omkar Power regarding the website link you shared, whether he is able to see the install. So he has confirmed that it is working.
That's great.
And we have two more questions. One from Omkar himself. He is asking, can we convert the website that is already built, or do we have to start from scratch for PWA?
No, we can add this PWA feature into existing website as well for web applications, and you can create a new as well. So there is your choice, depends on your choice and what you want to do with that application.
Okay, and we have another question from Mr. Anurag. He is asking, how can we store data securely in mobile from PWA?
Yes. So in PWS, you can store data in multiple ways. First, in you can store some data in session, some data in local storage. But again, it depends on what exactly you want to store. And PWS are like you cannot just convert any or every application into PWA. You will first need to understand the exact requirement from your client, and then you will need to give this. You will need to propose this PWA as a development scenario.
Okay,
So
we have one more question from Mr. Anurag. How does it differ from hybrid mobile applications?
yes. So to develop hybrid applications, you will need to learn Ionic or native application or other technologies. But for PW, you don't have to learn anything. So that's the first reason. Second
Oh.
reason, it doesn't require any external library or package.
Okay, so we have two more questions from Zoya. She has asked three questions in a single manner. How many companies are currently using PWA? What is its job market currently for the skill? And will we have more opportunity to explore in this field in future?
Yes, absolutely. Because your mobile device users are increasing day by day. Right now, I think almost around 4 billion people have access to internet and mobile devices. But the population of our earth is 7 billion, or it's more than that. So when like all these 3 billion people will, when these people will start using Android devices or iOS devices, you will have more users, which means more business, which means companies need developers, which means your job is secure. And
Okay.
how many companies? So a lot of companies, as I have shown in the map, global map, a lot of companies are using PWA, and the number of PWA applications on Play Store is increasing tremendously.
Okay, okay, Ankit. So we have another question. Miss Rakshata is asking where to begin from if a fresher wants to start with PWA. What is the correct guide to be followed? Is there any documentation available, or is there any courses they can take as a beginner?
Yes. So to get started with PWA, first of all, as I have mentioned in the beginning, you'll need a good understanding of JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. because these are the basic requirement. And on the basis of that you can add add-ons and build your application. To get start with it, you just need to search PW on Google and or YouTube, and you will get a number of videos, blogs based on technologies. Suppose you are a React developer, you will get that things in React. If you are an Angular developer, Angular itself provides some tools and commands. So using that, you will build your PWA application in just a couple of hours. Yeah, so the learning curve is really easy compared to building a native application or a hybrid application.
Okay, Ankit,
I
those were the questions we received for the session. So do you want to give any kind of closing notes that you wish to add here?
yeah. So guys, those who are there or who is going to watch this video after session. So first of all, learn basics. If you have any questions, just post in any community or become a part of any developer community, and you can post, you can learn, and build something like build actual projects to learn technologies. Because by reading blogs, by watching videos, you are not going to become a developer. You can become a good developer just by building projects. The more projects you will build, the more hands-on experience we will get, the more challenges, problems we will face, and that's the way you will become a better and better by each passing day. And on this note, thank you so much, Namrata, for giving me this chance and opportunity to speak and connect with all the developers.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ankit. That's it for our progressive app session, guys, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you
So
so much.
one last announcement from my side. So guys, this is here the thing. This is the Discord channel you have to join. We do a lot of amazing stuffs here. Like, yeah, last 26 January we had a quiz session, and there we given the top 10 winners Microsoft swags and all these things. So you can win Microsoft swags, and what you have to do is just join the Discord channel, participate as your quizzes, and our next quiz is scheduled on next Friday. So do join the Discord channel. See you there, guys. And thank you, Ankit. Thank you, Namrata, for hosting the session. Thank you, Ankit, for being our valuable speaker. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the session to the audience. And by the last note, we are just going to end the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.